What's up, Sneaky Nation? Sneak B here, back with all the news after week number 3 of the preseason here in our Tennessee Titans franchise. The Titans dropped a very good opportunity to pick up their first win of the preseason. Unfortunately, Suckup could not make a field goal to kind of seal the deal for us, and instead we ended up giving up a lot of yards on the final drive of the game to the Chiefs, and they ended up winning the game with the field goal as time expired. That moves us down to 0-3 on the preseason, and the concern is starting to set in. Now, last week we actually saw the first good performance from our defense. They really stepped up, but we really haven't seen much from our offense throughout the preseason. We actually gave Marcus Mariota the reins for the entire game last week, and you know we were able to get one touchdown on the board. But really, we need to see more from the offense. We're not getting a whole lot of passing yards. Our rushing attack is just non-existent. Every once in a while, we'll break a big run, but usually we're looking at a 2-yard gain. And that's not something that's going to help us win. Now, we did know coming into this season it was not going to be easy. Getting a winning record would definitely be an uphill battle, but I'd like to see more from our offense. And I think I might have a solution to that. Coming up. Now, we have to cut 5 players right now. I'm actually going to cut a little more than that because I do want to scroll through free agency and maybe sign a player or two that's definitely going to help us out as we move forward. Again, we're looking at this Team XP thing. And people might have been leaving comments on this situation, but I've been recording this all on the same day. The first game has not even been uploaded yet. So if you have been saying something, I apologize. I'm trying to get through this as quickly as possible. Hopefully, like I said, when the regular season starts up, we'll have more options in terms of developing players. If not, you know, I can play those drills. Maybe I could do that on a stream or something. I don't know. I feel like it would make the news videos a little bit too long. But I know certain people would like to see that as well. I don't know. We can figure out some way to do all that. Doing it a stream might be difficult for when I pre-record, though, because I tend to go ahead of time. So, I don't know. We'll figure out a solution one way or another. Right now, though, my priority is improving this team. Again, you know, I'm really not expecting a winning season right now. We picked this team because they had a lot of holes. They're a team that needs to be rebuilt. You know, we had the second pick in the draft last year for a reason. And although I feel like the Titans made some good offseason moves, still a long way to go before we can consider ourselves a playoff contender. But getting Mariota some time here definitely going to help us out as we move forward. One more. Oh, wait, we have 2 weeks here left. Let's go ahead and do this. But we do want to go through free agency because a lot of players were just released. And that could be very good for us. There could be some players down there that are going to help us out in the future, whether it be making the team or maybe it's just going to be a bench role where they step in and fill in case of injuries. I also want to mess with the sliders a little bit this week. I have yet to mess with the sliders after 3 games. I have a few things I want to change. The QB accuracy being one of them. I think it's a little silly when our passes are that far off. I don't feel like that's necessarily where it would be in real life, so we are going to change that a little bit. And I need to start scrolling through Operation Sports. I'll probably do that before the regular season begins. Cut 5 players. This is where it gets a little bit difficult. Let's go back out here. Let's go to salaries. And somebody was saying the salaries don't actually affect you all too much. And that's fine. I still like to avoid the penalty as best as I possibly can, though. So let's see what we got. And I might need another quarterback, to be honest. Just in case Mariota goes down, I don't really know that I'd feel comfortable with Whitehurst in that role. Might be something that I don't really have a choice on, though. Wide receivers, McBride is going... Well, I don't want to cut McBride. I don't really want to cut anybody here. So right now, I guess we'll roll forward and see if I can make it. I do think I'm going to need to cut Anthony Fasano. I don't really want to, but I can't go forward with that many players on my roster. So we are going to get a penalty there. And he's a good player. I actually like Anthony Fasano quite a bit. Meredith had a lot of holding calls in the preseason. That just was not good for us. I noticed his name pop up quite a few times. And we need to start making changes. You know, we can't have that as we move forward. Here's a younger player. I don't really want to cut him. Well, no, I take that back. You know what? We're going to cut Bell. Do I want to cut Bell or... we'll cut Bell for now. They're the same age, the same rating. Maybe we can use this young player and kind of develop him into a guy that's going to contribute a little bit more for us. Let's see. It's getting really difficult to cut players now. It's not the cakewalk that it was earlier on. You know, I'm finding it challenging to find players that I feel comfortable moving on without. I think Gooden's going to have to be one of those players, unfortunately. Best of luck to you, sir. I felt more comfortable with the other guys there. At cornerback, we do have some options here, but Wooten kind of stepped up. He got a big interception in that last game. I know DJ Moore's batted a few passes away as well. Making a cut between one of those guys is not an easy task right now. I do think Pruitt's going to have to go, unfortunately. I mean, Stafford just straight up played great for us in that last game. He earned that spot. In fact, Stafford is potentially fighting to take over Cersei for that starter position. I was just incredibly impressed with what we received from him in this last game, so it's something to keep an eye on. Running back, who do I want to cut? I feel like McBride's the most obvious cut at this point, and I say that because I'm going to sign a wide receiver. I don't know. In fact, we might need to do something. We might have to go ahead and cut Armonte Edwards. It might be time. I like Armonte Edwards. I had high hopes for him. He didn't really play bad in the regular season or in the preseason, but McBride has potential. He's younger. Armonte, I love you, baby. Appalachian State forever, but it's time to make a move. We need to move on. You know, we need to do what's best for the team, and sometimes that's cutting players that you like, and that's unfortunate that it's come down to this, but the way our depth chart's kind of filled out, that's kind of the decision that needed to be made. And it's still a risky move, even then, because, look, I was considering going for a veteran. You know, there's some good veterans up here. I mean, Reggie Wayne, that would be awesome. A little bit older, but, I mean, that's, you know, what a veteran's for. So I was considering that, and I was scrolling down. I'm like, I need a guy to get plays. You know, we're familiar with Denarius Moore from our Raiders franchise, but I kept looking, and I was like, where should I go with? Who's going to help this team out? And then I came across somebody, and I feel like he has earned a shot. Chris Owusu, a very familiar guy. If you have watched my franchises before, I feel like he's going to be able to contribute to us right away. There's a few other players that I saw that might have been good pickups, but really it's going to be too difficult to make a cut at this point in time. So we're going to give Chris Owusu a shot and hope that this is going to be a good move for us. We need somebody to be able to blow the top off of defense, and we know he's capable of doing that. Again, I really kind of struggled throughout the throughout the preseason in terms of getting down the field. And we don't really have the greatest of offenses, so I hope he can come in and breathe some life into it a little bit. Right now, he's on the bench. I'm probably going to put McBride on the bench right now. McBride's a rookie. I want to see more from him, but he's still in the return game, which is fine. Chris Owusu, I want to get him some time to see what we can get from him. But yeah, I think this is going to be our moves right now. I'm going to do this again. Some of these moves I have to remake since I just hit that button to reset everything. So let's see if we can get a good depth chart going here. I think Mathis was a pretty good sign. We still have a few things we're going to need to take care of today. I did not do this, did I? All right, yeah. So we have Levitre. I think that'll be a better move for us right now. Kind of get Levitre there. Get more veteran presence. Defensively, Daquan Jones, I feel like, has earned this starter spot. He has had a very good preseason for us. I have been stoked with his production, and I think he's going to take over right now at that starting left end spot. Hopefully he can continue to play well from that position for us, because I've been really enjoying what he gave us throughout the preseason. Derek Morgan, a great preseason for us as well. In fact, Burnett had a pretty good one too so far. We still have one more game. Avery Williamson, I'm excited about him. I'm going to go ahead and move him up here. I saw Brandon Spikes miss the tackle that allowed a touchdown. He tripped or something. I don't quite know what happened. But it really wasn't a good play, and it was kind of ugly to watch and irritated me. So we're going to give Avery Williamson the start at this point. Brian Arakpo obviously has that down on lock. I've been pretty impressed with Ray Wilson and DJ Moore. And then again, Wooten had that big interception, so I'm okay with that right now. Huff and Griffin. Right now, we're going to stick with Huff, but Griffin had that interception. Stafford's a guy, I'm going to keep him on the bench right now. You know what? Let's make this change. I don't know. This is just for the last preseason game. We're going to give Stafford an opportunity with the starters and see what Cersei can do with more time on the field in the preseason. Right now, it's still kind of up in the air as to who's going to win this, but I was very, very impressed with what Stafford gave us last week. Everything else is probably going to remain the same for the time being, but we do need to change a few things. We still need it's going to be a longer news video, and they're probably going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to be trying to work more stuff into them this year on the new Madden. But we need to check out, first of all, let's go ahead and do our sliders here because some things need to be changed. I think we know it. QB accuracy, I'm going to move this up. We'll put that at 55. Everything else we're going to keep the same for right now. I feel like their accuracy is a little bit too high right now, but that's okay. We're going to keep it as it is for right now. One thing that I need to change, injuries. I'm cool with moving injuries up a little bit. I don't know what that needs to be on. I should probably do research. I want to move fatigue up. I like having bench players play a lot. I'll just move it up to 55 for now. What I need to change, though, is this holding call. This thing is ridiculous, dude. Like, I feel like at least 4 times a game there's a holding penalty. We need to move that back. It's just not acceptable. So we'll move it back there for now, and hopefully that does the trick. Again, we're going to adjust the sliders. In fact, I'll probably go on Operation Sports before I actually get into the regular season. But we'll try that slider set out. A lot of it's just adjusting to a new Madden. You know, it's a brand new game. We're going to have to feel out the way the game plays out. You know, it's a lot different than Madden 15, and that's something that's just going to take some time. Last but not least, we have the Vikings up next. It's the Vikings. Let me double check. I believe we're playing the Vikings in the final preseason game before I check out their lineup. Yes, it is the Vikings. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the lineup here of our matchup in the final preseason game. Hopefully the Titans can get a victory. It's not going to be easy, though. We have Teddy Bridgewater, the second-year player out of Louisville, leading the way. Sean Hill, a guy we'll see a lot of in the preseason, his backup, and a very good player. At running back, Adrian Peterson is back. Jerick McKinnon going to be his backup there. Fullback, Zach Line. At wide receiver, Mike Wallace. A pretty interesting pickup here for the Vikings. It'll be interesting to see what kind of Mike Wallace shows up. You know, he's that boomer bust kind of guy. And with a younger quarterback, that could be a bad thing. Charles Johnson going to be a wide receiver as well. Jarius Wright, another player, and then Cordella Patterson. So not the greatest of wide receiver group there, but they definitely have a lot of speed and a lot of guys that can make some plays. Kyle Rudolph, a very good veteran tight end, a guy that's definitely going to be a rock there for Teddy Bridgewater to work with. Offensive line going across, it's nothing that really stands out. It's not a great one. They have John Sullivan, a pretty good center. Other than that, though, Adrian Peterson's going to have his work cut out for him this season. It's definitely not going to be as easy as it had been in years past. Defensively, Griffin, a pretty good right end here. Sharif Floyd, a great defensive tackle out of Florida, third-year player. Linval Joseph out of East Carolina as well. Very good defensive tackles there. And in terms of linebackers, they have Audie Cole from NC State. Not a great guy to captain your defense in that spot, but Anthony Barr, a second-year player from UCLA, is definitely a guy to keep an eye on. Xavier Rhodes and Captain Munnerlyn, 2 good corners. I like Captain Munnerlyn a whole lot. Trey Waynes, the rookie first-round pick from Michigan State, a guy who is going to make some plays. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye out on him. Sean Prater going to be at that 4th spot. Harrison Smith, a great safety. I think everybody already knows about him. And then Robert Blanton. So they have a lot of guys on defense capable of making plays, and that's probably where they're going to rely more on throughout this season as their offense comes together over the years. But still a team to look out for. It's a young team on the rise, and that is our next matchup as we enter week 4 of the preseason, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed, and I will see y'all there. Later.